know why you're here. You got to be a fragrant nut, just like me. So welcome to the fragrance nut. Hey, if this is your first time, welcome to the family. If not, welcome back. But anyway, hey, today we're going to talk about a brand that I saw. I've been looking at it, and I thought to myself, it's very interesting looking bottles, and I don't particularly subscribe to the bottles. I care more about the juice, but my wife, she does care about the bottles. So, but this time, I'm guilty of liking the bottles, and that is a brand I believe is marketed by the House of Mimo, which I'm a big fan of, the African Rose and a couple of other fragrances that doesn't come to mind right at the moment. But we're going to talk about a house called Floraiku. I'm screwing that up. And the two fragrances specifically we're going to talk about is none other than, let's see, oh, that may be screwing it up. One Umbrella for Two, and the one that I'm really digging. Both are nice. I have not tried the full house, but this one is Sand and Skin. Sand and Skin. One Umbrella for Two. We're going to talk about we're not going to talk about my favorite yet. We're going to talk about One Umbrella for Two. And I got my little notes here because I want to be real specific about this. These are very nice though, extremely nice. If you're familiar with it, let me know. If not, hey, get a sample, I suggest. And I don't, like I say, I'm no gatekeeper and I don't get anything from this. I always spend my own money because I want to be able to criticize if it's, in my opinion, only from my nose perspective, if it's really full bottle worthy. By the way, I did stop off today at Neiman Marcus, and over 20 years ago, I became familiar with Clive Christian, number one, X in 1872, and actually bought all three in an ending of a divorce. That was all I could afford because it, take me to the cleaners. But I was still able to afford the most expensive fragrance in the world at that time. And that was number one. And so today, I just kind of wondered if I wanted to remind myself of that fragrance and grab it, would it still bring back the fond memories of how it smelled then? And so I put it here, and then I tried Blonde Amber. And I've not been an amber fan, or so I thought, but come to find out, I don't know shit about amber, because Blonde Amber is the shit. It's really nice. Clive Christian Blonde Amber. And then I believe I have Rosendo Matu, which has a sensual musk and amber. But let's get back to it. I don't want to ramble on. Let's talk about the fragrances that you came here for. Okay, so I do see, I could not find the perfumer for Sand and Skin. However, this young lady, she has done several from the Floraiku brand, and her name is none other than Eleanor Massenet. Very interesting name. Okay, so anyway, it has a right off the top, it hits you with some black currant, and that gave it its fruity aspect to the fragrance. And then there's some floral, and it's cyclamen. And I can't say that I've experienced cyclamen. At least it doesn't ring a bell for me. But it's supposed to give a mysterious scent. And I do like that idea of the mysterious, because we all know that I like vampires and werewolves. If you didn't know, now you know. And so I do like the sound of that. Also, it has a tea note in there, and the rice note. Now you would think the rice should give it's kind of a milky, maybe, flavor to that. And then the tea, but they actually both gives a green kind of fougere type scent. and then they hit you with some cedar, and then to seal the deal, it's got some white musk inside, and comes together. Is what I like about it, though, even though I like sand and skin better, is the fact that it's very unique and unfamiliar. And so I may actually pull the trigger for the one because it's mysterious and unfamiliar, even though I like sand and skin. Could be because it has some of my favorite notes. But anyway, now let's talk about sand and skin, who I could not find the perfumer. If you tested this and you know, perhaps you have a bottle, let me know. But in here, it has it's an oriental floral and some vanilla, so it gives that kind of, as it says, sand, so it gives that beachy kind of feel to it. I believe that's where they want to go with that. Also, it has a yellow floral. It hits you with some ylang-ylang, and then some sandalwood. A couple of woods are in here, and then there's benzoin, and then there's labdanum. So that's going to kind of warm things up. Also, to give you that, I'm out on the beach, have sinking margarita, tequila, whatever. And then it has some amyris, and that's where that other woods is coming from. So the sandalwood and the amyris, and then some patchouli gives it a little bit more earthy type to it. But I can say the vanilla, that's probably what's grabbed my attention the most. And then of course that musk, giving that amber, and it holds everything together. And so very, very nice. I should have probably, had I known I was gonna like this as much as I do, I probably wished I had pulled the trigger for at least a 10 mil decant, and then maybe later pull the trigger. And by the way, I even sprayed the two on my wife, and I didn't tell her which one, and she was wild about sand and skin. So I may have to do that because she doesn't wow very easily. I was the only thing that could wow her. So, you know. Anyway, sand and skin. Check it out. Tell me what you think about it. If you tried it. If you tried any more of the fragrances from the house. I personally had gone to a website and kind of looked at the notes and stuff because I didn't really want to just grab things that I pretty much, prejudging, but I pretty much know what I like. Back in the day, you didn't know what was in it, and you just really enjoyed the idea of smelling and then let your mind take you wherever it took you. But today, now, because of the information age, I mean, a little bit of excitement has probably been taken out of it, but hey, we fragrant nuts out here. We still love it. And so anyway, that's it. I got many packages that came in, so I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna probably do another couple of videos just to bring them to you, because I don't know how I'm gonna knock all these out. I even have a package that was due today. It's probably gonna come tomorrow. And then I'll try to knock those out. And I've been away a little bit because my wife is in the hospital getting knee surgery. So I found a way to come in and shoot some videos right quick. So I'll be dropping a few more, perhaps late tonight. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Share. I love your comments too, because I do get into them and I respond, and I will even tell you places I go to pick up these fragrances, even if maybe perhaps I forgot to mention it on the channel. I will then send you that particular link. I'll respond back to your comments. So like, share, subscribe. I deeply appreciate you listening to me ramble on about the things we love, and that is fragrance. Anyway, until then, see you in the next video. Have a good night.